Potentially between Secretary Rubio and Secretary Duffy.
No clash. I was there. You're just a troublemaker. And you're not supposed to be asking that question because we're talking about the World Cup. But Elon gets along great with Marco, and they're both doing a fantastic job. There is no clash.
But, Mr. President, bottom line...
Who are you with? Who are you with?
NBC.
Oh, no wonder.
Mr. President,
NBC.
who has more authority, Elon Musk or your cabinet secretaries?
Any other questions? They're both great guys. And by the way, they both get along fantastically well. Marco has done unbelievably as Secretary of State, and Elon is a very unique guy who's done a fantastic job.
I like talking about the World Cup.
I mean,
make no mistake, it's come to the United States. I'm very excited about it. But reporters don't have to just talk about the World Cup. No. So Gabe Gutierrez is asking the right questions there for NBC.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Lemire, Jonathan Swan and Maggie Haberman came up with this just explosive reporting a couple of days ago, which NBC confirmed. But it wasn't like it wasn't all kind of, smiles and laughs and daffodils inside that meeting. You had Marco at one point, Secretary of State, at one point saying to Elon, oh, okay, so the 1,500 people that have already taken early retirement, would you like me to hire them back, Elon, so you can fire them for show? And then you had Sean Duffy, according again to this extraordinary reporting by Jonathan Swan and Maggie Haberman, you had Sean Duffy going, hey, we got planes crashing. And your people are trying to fire air traffic controllers. And Elon Musk retorted, name one person that got fired. And he goes, and Duffy responds, the Secretary of Transportation responds, I can't, because I stopped your people from firing them while planes were crashing. So this was not a happy meeting. It wasn't a happy exchange, but it was, as Swan and Haberman reported, it was quite possibly a turning point where Donald Trump is saying, okay, I selected you as cabinet secretaries. You all make the decisions. And Elon, you can offer guidance, and we'll be glad to listen to your guidance, and then they will make the final decision. So you've written a piece asking whether Doge is losing steam. What have you found out over the weekend since this explosive meeting?
Yeah, so there are a few things here. First of all, a lot of damage control from the White House after that meeting. You just saw President Trump there in the Oval Office talking about it. Secretary Rubio and Elon Musk had dinner at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend. We saw Trump return to Washington last night with Elon Musk on Air Force One. He also defended the two of them on Truth Social, trying to downplay this clash. But as I reported, this was coming weeks in the making. First of all, President Trump had really soured on some of the bad headlines. Really, we know how much he pays attention to the media coverage of this. That dating all the way back from that moment we've discussed on this show when Jesse Waters on Fox News sort of almost very emotionally said, hey, be more careful with these cuts, talking about a friend of his who was going to be eliminated from the Pentagon, saying this needs to change how we're approaching this. Other cabinet secretaries for weeks now have complained to the White House and to their own staff, saying Musk is usurping our power. These should be our decisions on hirings and firings. Not saying they're not going to agree with Doge's recommendations, not saying they don't agree with the need to reduce the workforce, and in some cases dramatically so, but they wanted to have the final say on that, not Musk. And I'm told White House officials are seeing these legal challenges, and they've been on the losing end of some of them, in part because there's questions about whether Musk has the authority in Doge. Musk, of course, a special government employee, whether he actually has the ability to fire these staff workers. So, Franklin Foer, there's some thought here that by empowering the cabinet secretaries to be the final say, that might actually help them get this through the courts, more effectively eliminate these positions. Musk certainly not going anywhere. People in Trump's orbit stressed to me all weekend long that he is still a major player. But it does seem like this is the first time he's had his wings clipped a little, as we enter this next phase of Doge.
Right. So if the kind of master narrative of the first couple weeks of the Trump administration has been the unimpeded power of Elon Musk, well, then we do have this evidence that he's receiving some sort of backlash, some sort of pushback. But I think the fundamental trend still continues, which is that Doge has created an ethos for the entire federal government, that one of the underlying pillars of the Doge strategy is to create a sense of fear and anxiety among federal workers to drive them out on their own volition. And I think that we're only beginning to see that happening when in Washington, this is a local story. And like Jesse Waters, I mean, I think all of us at the table here keep running into people in the federal government who are pondering leaving the federal government. And when I look at these examples of the very good people I know in the government, whether they are at the VA doing some sort of very basic medical work, or they're at other agencies where they're regulating financial markets, the stunning exodus of competence and capacity is only just beginning.
It only is. And again, I want to go back to Mika really quickly. Another question. Again, you look, Wall Street Journal this morning.